And the Republican National Convention wrapped up on Thursday, and now with just over 2 months to go until the November election, we got a chance to talk with RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel about voting, about coronavirus, and the racial tensions that are boiling over in cities across America. Current RNC Chair and former Michigan GOP Chair Ronna McDaniel taking time to answer questions from Fox 17. One day after the president accepted the Republican nomination on the White House South Lawn, I asked McDaniel about the crowd, largely maskless, appearing to violate the administration's own rules on mask wearing and distancing, and what kind of example it sets as the eyes of the country were watching.
Well, we were outside, and we did set a good example. We canceled a 19,000-person convention, and I know that I've personally lost friends from this terrible pandemic, as has the president, and that's why the president has said to take the precautions.
McDaniel said the 300 people there connected to the RNC were tested before entering. As the president gave his speech, protests raged outside the White House, calling for racial justice in the face of several recent police killings. I asked about that, too.
You know, I am not going to call our men and women in police racists. I think that is not fair when there are bad actors, and we know that George Floyd was murdered, and we know that we need to investigate what's happened to Jacob Blake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bad actors does not make a whole institution racist.
McDaniel went on to acknowledge there is systemic racism in America before going on to say the president is the one taking steps to fix it through his signature tax bill and reduction of nonviolent terms through the First Steps Act. With just over 2 months now until voting, McDaniel, former chair of Michigan's GOP, says she knows the role the mitten can play in a close election.
You know, Michigan's pivotal, and we made it pivotal. President Trump did. When I was party chair in 2016, everybody thought of Michigan as flyover country. We're actually in a better place than we were when I was chair in 2016, so I'm very heartened by the numbers that we're seeing right now.
And McDaniels may have good reason to feel heartened despite Joe Biden leading the president in Michigan in most major polls by as much as 6 points. Hillary Clinton also led the president in Michigan going into the 2016 election by as much as 11 points and ended up losing the state by just over 10,000 votes. But on mail-in voting, a step taken to reduce the spread of coronavirus, McDaniel said she's skeptical, echoing the sentiments of the president that a change in voting policy could lead to fraud.
In this time of crisis, when people are dealing with a lot of uncertainty, it is not the time to upend voting procedures that have been tried and tested and vetted.